Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining us today. Thank you for being part of us in this information session on IPDET Nairobi and the African School of Evaluation, ASE 2025. My name is Caleb Ayong, and I'm the communication specialist for the African Evaluation Association, AFRIA. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to this session. Of course, we all know that there is a lot happening in the world of evaluation this month of in the month of November. Before we get into everything we'll be discussing today, I would like to let our listeners, or those of you who are here with us, let you know that we have this session in English and French and in Portuguese. And I'm going to let one of our French interpreters tell you just how to get interpretation services, which will be activated in just a moment.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour. Soyez les bienvenus à cette session. Nous aimerions vous informer que vous avez les services d'interprétation qui sont disponibles en français et en portugais. Donc, pour accéder au service d'interprétation, vous trouverez, une fois que ce service est activé, le globe à droite en bas de votre écran. Lorsque vous cliquez sur cela, vous verrez option interprétation et vous pourrez choisir la langue de votre choix. Merci.
One of the Portuguese interpreters to please give us this in Portuguese before we activate interpretation, please.
Boa tarde, caros participantes. Estamos prestes a arrancar e existe interpretação nas três línguas, isto é, inglês, francês e português. Portanto, daqui a instantes vão soltar os painéis e assim cada um pode escolher a língua da sua preferência. Obrigado pela atenção.
Okay, there we are. Thank you very much and welcome to this information session. So I am not going to be alone in this journey. I have here with me my friend and counterpart from Clear Anglophone Africa, that's Talita. And you can take it right on, Talita, and let's have our first speaker for today.
Thank you so much, Caleb. Like Caleb mentioned, my name is Talita. I'm from Clear Evaluation Anglophone Africa. It's so good to be here with you all. I think this is a big move for all of us in Africa. We're going to have two amazing trainings taking place here in our own soil. And we're just very excited to be sharing everything concerning these two trainings with you. We have esteemed panelists that will share all that you will need to know about the trainings as well as their part in the different trainings. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to go right into it. Today's it's just going to be about the facilitators telling you more about what they have planned and why you should be part of these trainings. So I want to introduce a man who really needs no introduction, Dr. Michel Odrago. Under his leadership, he's really strengthened evaluation capacity on the continent and really made sure that African voices are part of global evaluation. So, Dr. Michel, over to you.
Merci beaucoup, Talita. Merci, Caleb, pour
Talita, thank you. Caleb, thank you for organizing this important webinar in partnership with Global Shape Initiative, which will focus on two initiatives aiming at capacity building for evaluators in-depth that will organize its inaugural session in Nairobi this year, and also the African Evaluation School that will have its first session in Ghana, West Africa. So the capacity of evaluators has always been at the heart of AFRIA's activities, being an umbrella institution
Nous avons
focusing on
vraiment à
capacity
cœur de
building of
contribuer et de vraiment
evaluators on
jouer
the
un rôle
continent,
prépondérant
we aim at
dans ce domaine-là. Maintenant,
contributing
comment
and
nous faisons essentiellement pour y arriver en tant
ensuring
qu'organisation?
capacity
En
building
tant que
for
filière
various
qui regroupe des associations
evaluators.
de
How do we
professionnels
proceed?
volontaires en
As an
évaluation,
umbrella
notre rôle
body
n'est pas
for
vraiment de développer des programmes de
various
formation, mais c'est de
stakeholders, our
travailler en
role is not
partenariat
to develop
avec des organisations
capacity
qui ont
building
déjà
programs, but we work
développé
in
cette
partnership
expertise-là
with
et
other
qui sont
institutions
déjà
that
dans des
already
programmes de
have that
renforcement des
expertise.
capacités sur le
And
continent
these
africain.
are
Donc, il
already
s'agit
involved
pour nous
in capacity
de
building
mettre ensemble nos
across the
forces
continent.
pour s'assurer que
Our
nos différentes
aim is to
initiatives
pool
travaillent
our
en
strength
synergie et
to
collaborent
ensure that
tous pour le
we could
bonheur du monde de
collaborate
l'évaluation africaine.
to ensure
D'où
that
cette initiative en
African
partenariat
evaluation
avec le
is
Global
moving
Evaluation
forward.
Initiative, le
This is
GEI,
why we have
qui est de
this
soutenir le lancement
partnership
de la
with
première
GI
édition à
aiming at
Nairobi au Kenya, mais également aussi de nous
supporting the
accompagner
inaugural
essentiellement
session
pour
in
lancer la première
Nairobi in
édition
Kenya
de l'école
and
africaine
also in
d'évaluation.
the first
Donc,
session of the
également en tant
African
qu'organisation, un des points
Evaluation
clés sur lesquels
School.
nous mettons l'accent,
One of
c'est
the
de nous
key
assurer aussi que
focus
tous
of
les
our
programmes
activities
de
is to
formation qui
ensure
sont
that
déployés
our
et
training
développés sur le
programs that are
continent
being deployed
sont
and
en tout cas
implemented across the
importants pour le
continent
continent et sont contextualisés et
are
intègrent
relevant
les approches
and
africaines
include
d'évaluation que nous, en tant
African aspects
qu'organisation,
of
nous défendons.
evaluation.
Donc, je voudrais prendre l'initiative maintenant
Therefore,
de
I would like
remercier
to,
le
first of
GEI
all,
qui,
thank
dans son
GI,
partenariat, décide d'avoir
which
une
through
action
this
plus
partnership
importante sur le
has
continent à travers
decided
IPDET,
to
mais également
impact
aussi à
through
travers l'école
in-depth
africaine
the African
d'évaluation où nous avons
continent as well
4
as the
partenaires du
School of
GEI qui vont intervenir
Evaluator,
pour
where
des
we
programmes
have a
thématiques.
partner
Notamment, j'ai
that
cité le
will
CLEAR FA, le CLEAR
teach
lusophone
a
Afrique et
thematic
Brésil,
that
le
is
CLEAR
clear
francophone
Africa
Afrique et
basic,
le
a
CLEAR
clear for
anglophone Afrique et enfin
Francophone
l'École
and
nationale
Anglophone
d'administration
Africa,
publique
and
du
also the
Canada.
Public
Je voudrais
Administration
remercier tous nos
School of
partenaires
Canada.
qui
I would like
rendent
to
ces
also thank
formations possibles.
all our
Il s'agit
colleagues
notamment
that
de
are making it
Mastercard
possible
Foundation,
to
qui est
organize
notre
this training.
principal partenaire pour
Mastercard
le lancement de
Foundation,
l'école
which is
africaine
our key
d'évaluation. Il
partner
y a
for the
DEVAL de
African
l'Allemagne qui soutient
Evaluation
également la première édition
School,
de
and
l'école africaine
Deval from
d'évaluation.
Germany is
Nous avons
also
Ford
supporting
Foundation,
the school, Ford
Hilton Foundation,
Foundation,
mais également
Eaton
aussi ACBF,
Foundation,
l'African
but
Capacity Building
also
Foundation, qui est un
SCBN,
partenaire stratégique de l'AFREA dans cette initiative-là. Alors, l'ASE va se réaliser en partenariat
which
avec
is
l'Université de
also
Ghana,
a key partnership for Africa
ainsi que
in
l'Institut
this
africain, l'Institut des études africaines qui se trouve au sein de
evaluation
cette
school,
université-là.
and
Je voudrais
also
saisir
the
l'occasion
African
également pour les
Institute that is
remercier
within
vraiment pour
that
leur engagement et
institution.
leur
I would like
accompagnement
to
qui nous
commend
permet
them
de
for
faire de
their
cette première
commitment
édition-là
and
une
support
réalité.
that
Je
is
ne saurais
making it
terminer mon
possible
propos
for us to
sans
have
remercier nos partenaires
this
qui vont
inaugural
délivrer
session.
ces formations
I would like
durant
to
ces
also
5
thank
jours. Il
the
s'agit
various
de
partners that
l'UNICEF, notre
will
précieux partenaire, qui va offrir une classe de
make
formation sur les évaluations
that
centrées sur
will be
les
part
enfants.
of the
Il
training
s'agit de l'AIE, American Institute of
that
Research,
is
qui va offrir une
UNICEF,
formation sur les évaluations d'impact. 3IE,
and IEA
International Initiative
also
for Impact Evaluation, qui va offrir une
3IA,
formation sur
that's
l'utilisation de l'IA
international
sur les évaluations
assessment
d'impact.
for
Le CLEAR
impact
francophone Afrique
evaluation
avec le docteur
that will
Idoué,
also
qui va
give a
donner une
training on
formation sur l'utilisation de
impact
l'intelligence
assessment,
artificielle pour la
and Ms.
construction des
Chloé
systèmes
will also
d'évaluation dans les administrations
teach on
publiques à
how
l'aide
to
de
use
l'intelligence
AI
artificielle.
in
L'École
public
nationale d'administration publique
administration.
qui va intervenir sur les
The
meilleurs mix en
national
évaluation. Le
public
CLEAR
administration
sur
that will
l'équité
teach,
en évaluation. Et
and
enfin, le
also
CLEAR lusophone
Chloé
Afrique-Brésil qui va donner une formation
Lusophone
en
Africa
portugais
that will give
sur
a
les
training in
évaluations
Portuguese
rapides.
on
Merci à
quick
tous. Merci à tous nos
evaluation.
partenaires. Merci
So
à
I would like to
Candice
thank all
qui est
our
là au nom de
partners,
l'IPDET et à
Candice
Patricia qui
also,
est là au nom
who
de
is
GIA et
here
à tous nos partenaires qui vont intervenir
representing
aujourd'hui.
GI,
Je vous
and all
souhaite
the
une
other
excellente
partners
session
that
et
will
au
take the
plaisir
floor
de poursuivre ce
today.
partenariat-là
And
pour le bonheur et pour le
I hope
développement
this
des
partnership
compétences
will
évaluatives
last
sur le
longer
continent
in order
africain.
to
Merci
build
à tous.
the capacity across the
Thank you
continent.
very
Thank
much,
you.
Dr. Michel Drago, President of the African Evaluation Association, and AFRIA being one of the organizations leading one of the trainings we have. The second of these trainings is IPDET, and IPDET is a brainchild of GEI, the Global Evaluation Initiative, whose communication and knowledge management lead, Patricia Coca, is our next speaker. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you, Caleb, and thank you. Very, very happy to be here today. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Patrizia Cocca. I lead the communication and knowledge management team at the GEI. And just for everybody, reminder, the GEI is all about strengthening national M&E systems, which we do through our implementing partners, which are the CLEAR centers. You already heard about them, some of them, IPDET and ENAP. So today I wanted to focus on why I'm really excited to talk about capacity development and why it matters so much for M&E. So I wanted to share with two quick stories that, in my opinion, show the power of strong evaluation systems. The first story comes from Jamaica. The country was struggling with gang violence and tried the usual approaches, education programs, job trainings. But when the Caribbean Policy Research Institute, trained by Clear Luck, evaluated this intervention, they found something surprising. There was minimal impact on crime reduction. So this evidence led Jamaica to completely shift strategy and focus on dismantling gangs in addition to having social program. The result, crime rates dropped because they used data to guide their decisions. Another story that I want to bring to your attention today comes from the other side of the globe, from India, from the state of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is facing a problem with aging population that is expected to rise substantially in a few decades. So the government needed to know what to do and how was the situation at the moment. So in 2019, they launched an elderly survey supported by Clear South Asia, and that is one of the GEI partners. And the findings were quite eye-opening. 14% of elderly lived alone. Many of them, most of them were women facing economic hardship. There were gaps in pension payments and so forth. So based on the evidence, they established elderly resource centers and increased the pension funding. They even developed a comprehensive senior citizen policy. So why I mention this? For me, the key point is that both breakthroughs what happened because this country had invested already in building M&E capacity to produce evidence. So I'm very excited to hear that in November, Nairobi will host these two trainings. And thanks to our donors, the GEI is providing scholarship for the IPDET program so that financial barriers will not keep qualified people away. But IPDET is not the only program you'll hear about today. ASE is the other one. And they all share something important in their investment in human capital that create ripple effects. We believe in the GEI that when we train one evaluator, the person returns home and transforms how the organization makes decisions and allocate resources. And it's a multiplier effect. So for us, capacity development is essential. And this is the reason why in 2024 alone, we supported training of over 2,800 people worldwide. And each became an agent for change in their country. So I want to be short, so I will stop here. But this is to tell you that capacity building is part of the GEI's broader vision of building a global ecosystem where evidence-based decision-making becomes normal and not exceptional. When we strengthen our monitoring and evaluation systems, we strengthen democracy itself, ensuring public resources work effectively and that the citizen voices are heard. So our support for the Nairobi training is part of making that vision real. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you to Michelle and to Caleb and Talita and Candice for allowing me to be here with you today.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Our next speaker is my former boss, so I'm really excited to be introducing her. She is now head of program at IPDET, Dr. Candice Mokel. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Talita. That was unexpected, but lovely to see you. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. It would be remiss of me not to say congratulations. In fact, a huge congratulations to AFRIA for the African School of Evaluation. Some of you might know, but I have been on the AFRIA board a number of years ago. And I think the subject and the conversation around how can AFRIA start to develop, I think, a more, a stronger presence, I think, on the African continent in terms of capacity development. And I think it's just such a wonderful occasion for us to celebrate that this has come to fruition. I think the vision and the ambition that AFRIA has had has come to fruition under the leadership of my good friend Miche. And we are incredibly happy to be part of this celebration and to actually in this information session show how we are collaborating and making sure that there is coherence on the African continent when all of us as capacity development providers come together, hold hands, and make sure that we can provide the best possible services to the evaluation community on the African continent. So it is indeed a moment to celebrate. So just a little bit of history about IPDET, who we are, and then I'll talk a bit about how we came to have this wonderful moment of coming to African soil for the first time. So IPDET is one of the oldest and most recognizable, I would say, training programs in evaluation globally. It was actually started in 2001, so already 24 years ago, in Canada. And of course, our colleagues from ENAP are also present here, had a very, very close relationship to IPDET as well. Being just across the corridors from the regional IPDET in Canada at the Carleton University. And I think since 2001, I'm pretty sure that it's trained more than 4,000 individuals in evaluation over that time frame. And it's become a very special space, not just for training and professional development, but also for community building. And it has become the space where stakeholders and professionals at a global level continue also to collaborate across continents within their institutions. And exactly as Patricia has mentioned, when you train one person, it's not just training one person and then it's finished. In fact, what happens outside of that is that collaboration multiplies, and the multiplier effect of that strengthens capacities in evaluation globally. And that is exactly what IPDET has become. It's very, very important, though, for an organization that has been around for a long time to be responsive to changes that are happening in the context and the environment within which it operates. It needs to be sensitive to the realities of the current global context, which is rapidly changing. And I think all of us in the development sector are highly aware of the current global crises related to obviously climate change being the biggest and the biggest one facing and giving us an existential crisis as humanity, but the other offshoots of that crisis being biodiversity loss, the ongoing conflicts and poverty and the losses we have made since the pandemic in terms of our major SDGs and the gains we have made before that. So I think that as evaluators and then as evaluation capacity development practitioners, we need to be responsive to these changes and ask ourselves, how do we need to transform and change what we are doing? And that's exactly what IPDET did. IPDET, together with its partners and its donors, asked us to question whether remaining only in Switzerland, only in Bern, was good enough for the crises and the challenges facing us in the development community, and particularly in the global south. And so these calls for transformation had us looking inwardly to say, how do we ensure that we have more access and more equitable access to capacity development as IPDET. And then, of course, within the umbrella of the GEI and the partners that we have there, we then had discussions and conversations to say, how do we do this? How do we partner in order to make sure that we increase access to the high quality training and professional development that IPDET, is responsible for? And from that, a partnership then developed to say, let's work together with Clear Anglophone Africa to bring IPDET to the African soil, as Talita said, for the first time. And it is a collaborative effort where it's not just simply a parachuting of IPDET from Switzerland onto the African continent, but it truly is a collaborative effort where we have task teams working on both reshaping the content while remaining true to the fundamentals of professional evaluation development, and the rigorous curriculum that we have, but yet ensuring that it remains contextually relevant to the African context. So we have our two teams working together on all of this, and we have a joint facilitation team as well. There's a team from Bern, and there's a team from Anglophone Africa, and various other guest lectures as well from the continent, who will be forming part of the team, bringing high quality evaluation, capacity development, and professional development to Nairobi. So we're extremely excited about this. We're hoping for many more collaborations going forward. The regionalization strategy doesn't stop in Africa. We are looking at how do we partner with other institutions to make sure that we increase access to high quality, rigorous capacity development all across the world. So that is our ambition, that is our purpose. So thank you again so much for the opportunity to speak here today, and all the best to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Candice. And the reason why we have IPDET and AFRIA on the same platform is because these courses are quite complementary. They are two distinct courses, but they are very complementary. And like you've heard Dr. Candice Mokel talk about IPDET, we also going to have the next speaker, someone from the African School of Evaluation. He is one of the co-coordinators of the African School of Evaluation, and that's Dr. Salah Buyovsi. After that, we're going to get the various course outlines from the African School of Evaluation. So this is where you would want to start asking all the questions you have, any questions you have on the ASE, and also on IPDET. Feel free to put them in the Q&A section, and we would have all our experts here to talk about this. Dr. Salah, you have the floor.
Thank you, Caleb. Friends and colleagues, first, I apologize. I use a new laptop and the camera is not working. I am really happy to be here today to talk briefly about the African School of Evaluation as its coordinator with our colleague Alexis. For 25 years, AFRIA has been working to build evaluation capacity across the continent by organizing conferences, networks, and shared knowledge. But one gap has always remained clear. Africa needs its own place to train evaluator. So that's exactly why we are launching the African School of Evaluation. All of Africa, governments and organizations are asking for solid evidence to guide their decisions, but we still face some big challenges. For example, not enough evaluator training that is often fragmented, and too much dependence on external expert. That makes it costly, and it doesn't leave us with sustainable local skills. So the African School of Evaluation is the answer of the AFRIA to this. It is a long-term investment in Africa future by training a new generation of certified evaluators who understand both international standards and our African realities. Second, developing training programs that match Africa's priority from governments to development effectiveness and new emerging issues, and building and sharing high-quality training resources so knowledge is accessible to all. And maybe the most important thing is to create communities of practice where learning doesn't stop once the course is over. Second, because evaluation is such a broad and constantly evolving field, the trainings offered by African School of Evaluation will cover many different areas, as explained by Dr. Michi. The idea is simple. No single program can feed everyone needs. So this school is designed to respond to different demands and different contexts also, while staying flexible as new challenge and opportunities emerge. But this is just it isn't just about skills, it's also about identity. The African School of Evaluation support the Made in Africa evaluation movement, and a course dedicated to this concept will be scheduled in common classes, so all participants in the different trainings can attend these classes. The first edition will take place in in November in Accra, and we scheduled to have around 25 to 30 person by class in each trainings. There is many subject. I don't want to repeat, but Dr. Michi talked about different classes that we have with different partners. For me, the African School of Evaluation is more than just another program. It is a commitment to better governance, smarter policies, and strong African voices in evaluation. Because when we invest in evaluation, we are not just investing in technical skills, we are investing in accountability, learning, and in Africa's future. Thank you very much for your attention, and we hope seeing you in November in Accra. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sela, and thank you to IPDET and AFRIA essentially for those reflections. I think it's clear to see how the two programs are building on each other and really offering participants a richer, more complete and learning experience. So I think that will become even more clearer as participants have their questions as we move forward with the program. Our next speaker was going to be my colleague, Dr. Steve Masvaure, but unfortunately he couldn't join as he's in Nigeria conducting a workshop. So I'm going to present the outline of his training at Africa School of Evaluation. Caleb, maybe you can help me put the presentation up. So he's going to be leading a presentation on equitable evaluation, equitable development through evaluation training. So the training itself in terms of the expected learning outcomes, so it's all about describing the origin of equitable evaluation and its relevance and importance to the development space in Africa. It's also critically examining the equitable evaluation approaches, as well as describing the evaluation methodologies that promote a just social order or equitable evaluation. And then in terms of what informed the course, so CLIA's work on equitable evaluation, we've been doing quite a lot of work around equitable evaluation, including 3 volumes of the book that we've been working on. The 3rd version is in process, as well as equity being really still a critical matter on the continent. Despite a plethora of developmental intervention in the African continent, so a large proportion of the population still lacks access to essential goods and services for survival. So that was one of the reasons that informed the need for this course, and also the fact that equitable evaluation contends that conducting evaluation practices within an equity approach is more powerful as evaluation is used to advance equity. So it emphasizes that context, culture, history, and beliefs shape the nature of assessments, specifically in the diverse and often complex African realities. And then in terms of the course content, the course content will be divided into kind of like 5 areas, starting with the foundational concepts of critically really understanding equitable evaluation, what it's about. So they'll speak about issues of inequality versus inequity, different types of social inequality, including interpersonal, institutional, structural, and systematic inequality. Also just focusing around discussions on SDG 10 that speaks to reducing inequality within and among countries by 2030. And then, of course, they'll speak to origins of equitable evaluation, and discussing their debates from decades ago to move away from strict empirisms in evaluation, which began in the philanthropic and non-profit sectors in the US, and also limited capacity of the evaluation approaches and methodologies to capture cultural nuances in Africa. And then they'll speak also about what is equitable evaluation, what is it truly about. And they'll focus on issues relating to lack of consensus on definition in itself, critique of cultural competence, introduction to equitable evaluation frameworks, and critique of equitable evaluation frameworks. So the introduction and the critique of it. And then in terms of the approaches and methods for equitable evaluation, that will be around the introduction to approaches used in equitable evaluation, including the Made in Africa evaluation, transformative evaluation, human rights-based evaluations, and so forth, as well as key evaluation methodologies that supports equitable evaluation, which includes gender-responsive methodologies and systems thinking methods. Still on that, there also there will also be discussion around the key evaluation questions that needs to be answered if an evaluation, for instance, is to be regarded as equity focused. And then in terms of how to promote equitable development, the discussions will be around the need to move from equitable evaluation to equitable development. What should program funders do to make equitable equity focus? Similarly, what should commissioners do, and what should evaluators do to make evaluation equity focused? So if you have any questions regarding the program in itself, you can put it in the chat box, and I will be sure to pass it on to my colleagues, because they would be better informed to give you a better response than I would about the training in itself. Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you very much, Talita. We will now continue with the program. And of course, I should mention that this particular course will be offered in English. So those of you who would be coming for it, you would have to, of course, have a good knowledge of the English language. The next course we'll be hearing about is from Clear FA. Right after Clear FA, we would have the course from UNICEF with Dr. Suraya. But for now, we're going to have Dr. Edwe Dimitri Agbojan, who is the director at Clear FA, and he's also going to give us an overview of their course. The course will be offering at the African School of Evaluation, which of course will be offered in French. Dr. Edu, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup à tout le monde, mais c'est un plaisir, un
Thank you
privilège
very
d'être
much.
ici
I'm very
et
pleased
surtout de voir
to be
cette
here
belle
and
initiative prendre
especially to
forme.
see
C'est un
that this
engagement que nous
initiative is
saluons
taking shape.
beaucoup parce
So
que
we
ça permet à tous
appreciate
les
this
Africains de se
commitment because
retrouver
it enables
et
all
de parler
Africans
le même
to
langage
come
autour du
together
renforcement des
and to speak the
capacités.
same
Pour ça, je
language when it
voudrais
comes to
dire
capacity
un grand
building.
merci au
On this
leadership
note, I want
de
to say a big
l'AFREA
thank you to the
en
leadership
cette
of
matière.
AFREA in this
Est-ce
regard.
que vous allez partager l'écran? Are you going to
Are
share
you
the
going
screen
to
or
share
should I
the
share the
screen
screen
or
myself?
I should
Please go
do it
ahead,
from my
Dr.
side?
Thank you.
Okay. OK. Donc, le cours, la formation que nous proposons
The
dans le
training
cadre
that we
de
are
cette
offering
école africaine d'évaluation,
at
c'est sur la
this
conception
African
et la mise en œuvre des systèmes de suivi et
evaluation,
évaluation
African School of
avec
Evaluation.
l'utilisation de l'intelligence
So
artificielle
here we are
dans le
also
contexte de
focusing on the
l'administration
use of
publique.
AI
Alors,
in
pourquoi
terms
ce
of
cours?
public
Quel est le
administration. So
besoin?
why
Nous
this
avions
course?
remarqué
What is the need for
comme
it?
beaucoup
We
de
have
pays
realized that
africains de
just like
l'espace francophone
in
ont
other
adopté la
francophone
budgétisation par programme
countries in
avec des
Africa,
dispositifs
they
de
have adopted
planification qui sont
program-based
bien
budgeting
établis
with the
désormais.
planning tools
Mais
that
il y
have
a
well
beaucoup
been
de défis
defined,
sur le
but
suivi
there
et
are a lot of
l'évaluation
challenges when it comes to
et
monitoring and
on
evaluation.
constate que le suivi et
And we
évaluation
can
est
also see that
pratiquement
monitoring and
le
evaluation
maillon faible de la chaîne
is the
PPPSE, donc
missing
la chaîne
link
planification,
in the
programmation, budgétisation.
budget and
Les
budgeting and
responsables de
planning
suivi et
of those
évaluation au niveau de
countries.
l'administration doivent
Monitoring and
produire des
evaluation
projets annuels
officers
de
in
performance
administrations
chaque
have
année,
to
doivent produire des
produce
rapports annuels de performance
reports,
et
annual
c'est
performance
devenu quelque
reports,
chose qui leur prend beaucoup de temps.
and this
Et
takes
vous
them a
pouvez,
lot of time.
en regardant l'image,
And
vous
when you
mettre dans
look
la
at
peau
this
d'un
picture,
responsable de
you
suivi et
can,
évaluation
you
qui
know,
doit
see what
travailler
the
avec
monitoring and
encore des
evaluation
méthodes de
officers are
production
going
de
through because
données
they
qui
have to
sont
use
des
data
méthodes
production
traditionnelles qu'on
methods,
utilise,
which
donc
are the
des,
traditional methods,
des fichiers
which
Excel,
are
des documents
Excel
papier,
files,
avec
paper documents,
le nombre important de
with
programmes
a
qu'il
huge
y a
number
dans
of
tous les ministères,
programs
etc.
that
Donc, le
we have
travail
in the
devient
ministries. So it becomes
très ardu en termes de
a
temps
very
consacré,
cumbersome,
mais
a
aussi
very
en termes de
weighty work
difficultés pour
for them, and also
articuler les
very
différents niveaux
challenging when it
d'intervention,
comes to
notamment
articulating the various
articuler les
levels of
plans, les
intervention,
stratégies avec les
especially
politiques,
the plans,
articuler les
strategies,
politiques
how they are
avec les
in line with
programmes et les
policies,
projets.
how they are
Et
in line
donc,
with
pour
projects and
cela, nous avions
programs.
pensé que
So
ce
for
serait
that
bien de
matter,
renforcer les
we thought
capacités pour
that
voir
it
dans
is
quelle
good to
mesure on peut accélérer ce
provide
processus-là.
capacity
L'autre
building
problème qu'on a
to see how we can
identifié, c'est que les
simplify
systèmes de
this
suivi et
process. Another
évaluation au
problem
niveau des
that we
ministères
have
sont souvent
identified is that
fragmentés.
the monitoring and
Différentes
evaluation
unités, différents
systems in
ministères ont
the ministries are
développé leur
fragmented.
propre
Different various
dispositif de suivi et
ministries and
évaluation.
departments have
Et
developed their
souvent,
own
ces dispositifs
monitoring
de
and
suivi et évaluation ne
evaluation
se communiquent pas. Et
methods
du
which
coup,
do not
ça rend
speak to
encore plus
each other.
difficile le
So
travail
it makes
de
it makes the
centralisation des
work
données et
of
de production
centralizing
de
data
rapports de suivi sur
very,
les
very
interventions qui sont menées.
cumbersome.
Et donc,
cumbersome.
cette formation vise à apporter
So this training
une solution
aims
à ces
to
difficultés-là
find
à
a
travers le
solution
contenu qui est
to
proposé.
this problem
Alors,
through
le
the
contenu
content
qui est
that are
proposé est subdivisé en
offered.
trois
So
parties.
the content is
La
divided
première
into three
partie va porter
parts.
sur
The first
les
one
composantes d'un système de
focuses
suivi et
on
évaluation au niveau
the
de
components of
l'administration.
a monitoring and
Qu'est-ce qu'on
evaluation
doit
system in
mettre
administrations.
dans un
It
dispositif
means
de
what
suivi et
do we have to
évaluation?
put
Donc,
into a
qu'est-ce qui
monitoring and
permet
evaluation
d'articuler les
system? What helps
objectifs
to
au niveau des stratégies
articulate
nationales,
the
au niveau des
objectives
politiques,
when
des
it comes to
programmes et des
national
projets?
strategies, when it comes to
Comment
the
formuler
policies,
les indicateurs
along with
pour que
programs, how to formulate
les cibles,
indicators
résultats, pour que tout
so
cela
that
soit bien aligné.
the results
Et
and the
ensuite,
targets can be
l'élément très nouveau que
achieved.
nous
And the
apprenons, c'est
new
comment
thing
intégrer dans
that
ce
we are
processus
bringing on board
les
is how
outils
to
d'intelligence
incorporate this
artificielle,
process,
y compris
AI
les outils
tools,
d'intelligence artificielle
including
développés localement et qui
locally
permettent de
developed
faciliter
AI
un peu ce
tools that
travail.
can help us to facilitate this
Le
work.
module 2 va
Module
donc
2
sur la base de cette clarification à
is
la fois de ce que c'est que
also
l'articulation, le cadre
about
programmatique
what
qui
is the
gouverne
articulation of a
les
program
rapports de suivi
framework that
et
have to
d'évaluation,
guide the production
et
of
ainsi que les précisions sur
reports
les
as well as
les
details
différents outils d'intelligence artificielle
on
qui
the various
existent
AI
à la
tools
fois dans
that
le monde et
exist
sur le continent et qui peuvent être
globally
utilisés.
and also
Le
on the
module
continent.
2
That can
va aller
module
étape
2
par étape
will go
sur
step by step
comment construire un tableau de bord
into how to
digitalisé
build a
pour
digitalized
permettre
dashboard
au
in
ministère,
order
au niveau du
to
ministre, ou
enable
au niveau du
ministries
Premier ministre ou au niveau du président
or
de la
at
République,
the
d'avoir sur la
Prime
base de
Minister's
quelques
office or at the
indicateurs
office
clés
of the
des
president
informations à jour
to use
sur les
key
interventions qui sont
information
menées. Donc, ce
on
module 2 va
to
couvrir
receive
certains
key
éléments
information
comme
on
la théorie du changement,
interventions.
le cadre logique,
So
mais
this
surtout en
module
mettant
will cover
l'accent
the
sur la
theories of
formulation des
change,
indicateurs,
the
les
log
cibles de
frame, but
résultats
it will also
et
lay
l'élaboration du
emphasis
tableau de
on
bord digitalisé
result
et
indicators
avec
and
l'intégration
development
de
of a digitalized
l'intelligence
dashboard
artificielle.
with the use
Et
of
enfin, le
AI.
module
And
3
finally,
va
module
aborder
3
plus des éléments
will will touch
rentrent dans
on
l'ordre du
anything
management.
concerning
Parce que animer un
management
dispositif de suivi et
because
évaluation, vous êtes
you want
d'accord avec
to
nous
run
qu'il
a
ne s'agit pas
monitoring and
seulement
evaluation
des
system.
outils,
It's
mais il
not
s'agit
only
aussi du
about
leadership qui est
tools,
exercé
but
par
it's
les
also about
responsables de suivi et
leadership
évaluation,
that the
leur
monitoring and
capacité
evaluation
à
officers have to
interagir
exercise
avec les
and
autres
their
parties
ability
prenantes du
to
système
work with
au niveau de
other,
l'administration
interact
publique
with other
et aussi au
stakeholders
niveau des
in the public
partenaires,
administration
et
and
donc
also with
un certain nombre
partners.
d'outils qui leur permettent
So
de
a number of
mieux
it means
exercer
a
cette
number of tools
fonction-là
that can
dans
enable
une
them
perspective plus
to do this
managériale,
work
et
in a
cela va
more
être abordé dans le
managerial
module 3.
aspect,
Donc,
and
c'est
this
une
will be
formation de 5 jours qui va
touched
couvrir
on
ces
in
trois
module 3.
modules-là.
So
Donc,
it is a
un premier
5-day
module
module
qui
covering the 3
pose les
modules.
fondamentaux
The first
autour des outils
module is
IA
about the
qui
basics,
existent, et aussi
what
la
exists,
clarification
and
de l'articulation
the
ou du
clarification
cadre
of
programmatique.
the
Le module 2 qui va
articulation of the
aller
program
étape
framework, and
par
the
étape
module
sur
2 will go
l'élaboration du
step by
tableau de
step
bord
on
digitalisé, et le
the
module
preparation
3
of a
qui va
digitalized the
aborder
dashboard, and module 3
comment est-ce qu'on anime et
will
on gère
touch
un
on
système de
how
suivi et
to run
évaluation au niveau de
a
l'administration
monitoring
à travers
and
un certain nombre
evaluation
d'outils
system
qui
in
interpellent le
administration using
leadership,
some
la
tools
gestion des risques
that may be
et
used
les
by
comportements
leaders to
d'anticipation
manage risk
des
and
réactions et
how
des
to
actions des uns et des
anticipate
autres au sein de
the reactions and
l'administration
actions of
publique.
each and everyone within
Alors,
public
la formation est destinée à
administrations.
qui? La formation est destinée
The training is
aux
meant for
responsables
who?
de suivi et
This training
évaluation au
is
niveau
meant
de
for
l'administration
monitoring and
publique,
evaluation
aux
officers
responsables de
in public
programme
administrations,
au niveau
as
de
well as
l'administration
program
publique, au niveau des ministères, mais aussi
officers,
des autres
public
structures de
administrations
l'État
such as ministers,
qui
as well
appliquent
as
le budget
other
de
government
programme,
agencies that
aux
are using
fonctionnaires parlementaires
budget
qui doivent
programs
appuyer les parlementaires
to
dans l'analyse des budgets de
members of
l'État
parliament,
et
to
l'analyse des
parliamentary
rapports annuels de
clerks who have to
performance et des plans
analyze
annuels de
annual
performance, les
performance
consultants
reports
qui
and
accompagnent
project reports,
l'administration
and
dans
also
l'élaboration
consultants
de
who
ces
are
outils, de ces
supporting the
documents,
administrations
et
in the
aussi
preparation
des
of those
formateurs, des
documents,
personnes
as well
qui
as
travaillent
trainers,
au renforcement des
people
capacités
who are
des agents
providing
de l'administration publique à différents
capacity
niveaux.
building of
Donc, c'est à ce
members of the
différents
public
publics-là
administration at
que la
various levels.
formation
So
est
it is at
destinée.
these
Alors,
various
nous
groups that
prévoyons
the
une
training is
formation
meant for. We
interactive,
want
pratique,
the
avec des
training to be
sessions
practical and
de travail
interactive,
sur des études de cas, des cas pratiques qui ont été
with
développés.
working
On a la chance
sessions on
pour cette
specific
formation de
cases.
pouvoir
For this
mobiliser
training,
des
we
formateurs
are fortunate
expérimentés
to
qui ont
mobilize
eux-mêmes
seasoned
développé
trainers
déjà en appui
who
un peu
have
des
themselves
organisations de l'administration
developed
publique dans
with
différents
support from
pays des
public
tableaux de bord
administrations in
digitalisés
various countries,
avec
digitalized
l'utilisation de
dashboards
l'intelligence
with
artificielle
the
et qui
use
pourront
of
partager
artificial
cette
intelligence
expérience-là
and
à travers les
who
cas
are
pratiques
ready
qu'ils vont
to share those
présenter et qui vont
experiences
amener
during
les différentes
the
parties prenantes à
practical sessions so that we can help the participants to develop themselves. So in a nutshell, this is what we can expect from this training. In view of our time, I will stop here and I will be ready to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Edo. I'm noticing we're running a little bit behind time, so we're just going to move on quickly for the overview of UNICEF course. It is Hiroaki Yagami. He will be giving us just an overview of the UNICEF course at ASE.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for your invitation. Thank you, IPDET, AFRE, and then Korea Francophone. It's such a great pleasure for us to also collaborate in this course. So that the African School of Evaluation, the UNICEF course actually centered focus on the child-sensitive evaluation. So that why the child-sensitive evaluation matters in this context. So Africa is a home of nearly 500 million children, and almost 50% of them are under 18 years old. So that there has been a lot of persistent challenges, including health, education, nutrition, child protection, etc. It demands evidence-based decisions. Therefore, a child-sensitive evaluation is not just a technical expertise, but also this is a strategic tool to elevate children's rights, equity, inclusion in the policy and the programming in the different countries. So that the UNICEF has been working with AFREA, and also this is a pleasure, good opportunity to run the first edition of African School of Economics, as UNICEF has been providing also the multiple evaluation capacity development initiatives. So we have been organizing quite a few training in the French-speaking country, but we are very happy that we can introduce the modules finally in the English-speaking audience as well as French-speaking audiences. So we would like to bridge a global standards of the evaluation together with the local realities, the UNICEF as well as the UNICEF technical expertise we gather in the different countries with the different operations, working with both government as well as the community and the state rights holders. So the course itself, we expect the participants to understand the strategic value of the evaluation through the child rights lens and the equity lens. And then also we would like to offer the opportunity to learn how evaluation can define the needs that aligns with the national policies, priorities, as the perspective of the people we serve, including the vulnerable population and children. This course, we hope we will also have the opportunity to gain the practical tools, how to integrate the child-sensitive indicators, participatory methods into the your evaluation processes. Last but not least, I hope the course will offer the opportunity for participants to be equipped with how better communicate the finding, not only for the influencing the policy, and then as well the accountability at the different level, both at the public accountability and the accountability to the people we serve. Okay, so that the course will first start with the foundation, why child-sensitive evaluation matters, who are the right a stakeholder to be involved, etc. And the second day focus more on how we can design the evaluation, how are we going to ensure the participation. The last portion of the training will focus more on the accountability. How are we going to make sure the accountability to the different stakeholders, including the rights holders, in the evaluation, as well as how can the evaluative evidence can make impact. So that I hope the training itself will be delivered by multiple evaluation experts from UNICEF, but also we would love to collaborate also with the University of Ghana colleagues as well. And I hope that we can bridge the conceptual and theoretical learning component together with more hands-on practice as well as the experience from the field and the countries. And so thank you very much for the opportunity to collaborate with you. And this course, I hope, will reflect not only just your learning, but also this reflects the UNICEF commitment to make sure that the evaluation will be more inclusive, equitable, and then make the impact. By placing the children at the center, we ensure that the evaluation drives a better policies and stronger accountability and bring the real change to what we do in the daily life. Thank you very much for your attention, and we are looking forward to have the training with you and then collaborate with you all. Thank you very much.
Great presentation, Hiroki. Thank you very much for that. A quick note to the interpreters, please. We are getting some of our participants not getting you clearly, so maybe you'd want to maybe speak louder or maybe adjust your systems so that we can get better quality from the interpretation booths. So great session. You notice that we have from UNICEF, and in fact from all the other courses that will be offered at the African School of Evaluation. And I noticed that some questions have been asked in the chat. Ideally, we would recommend that you ask your questions in the Q&A section so that we can pick them up easily, given that there are so many comments coming from the chat. When it comes to the questions in Portuguese, we will try to find a way to get them to you as well. We can identify the questions in English and French, but we will need the help of the interpreters to pick up the questions in Portuguese. Our next presentation will be coming from the American Institutes for Research, and we have Dr. Subhanshu Handa. We affectionately call him Ashu, and they are going to be leading a course at the African School of Evaluation from the American Institutes for Research. Ashu, please feel free to take the floor and lead us through your course. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm able to share my screen, right?
Yes, you are.
All right. Hopefully you can see this.
Yes, we can.
Great, fantastic. So just to first introduce who we are, the trainers will be myself. My name is Ashu Handa. I'm an Institute Fellow at the American Institutes for Research, and I'm also Professor of Public Policy at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Also facilitating will be Dr. Gustavo Angeles, who's the Chief of Social Policy at the UNICEF Office of Research in Innocenti in Florence, Italy. So another UNICEF contribution there. And then Professor Dua Jamoa from the University of Ghana, Legon, who is a professor of biostatistics. So the three of us have run several impact evaluation courses with various Africa and Pan-African organizations, including the African Economic Research Consortium, AERC, UOPS, the Union of African Population Studies, and so on. Just a couple of, so I put some links in the chat. I don't know if that can be shared, if everyone can see those. But in terms of AIR, we have a project, a capacity building project, which is called P3 Africa. This is our website. We have actually run many training courses already. So if you look, for example, up at these tabs here, you'll be able to see, for example, our applied quantitative analysis webinar series. You click on that, and you can see that we have these are all the sessions that we did. These are the topics, like here's difference and differences 1 and 2, and you can see for each topic we have the full recording along with the PowerPoint slides. And for each session, there's a theory and then there's an application. And for the application, you can see that we have the Stata files. So you can download the Stata data sets and the do files. You can watch the video and you can actually, teach yourself, run the applications yourself and kind of go through what we've done. So you have that here. You've got instrumental variables and so on. We also did a Stata Tricks webinar series, how to create the graphs and other stuff in tables and Stata. So if you click on that, and again, you can get the video of the actual sessions. And then the transfer project is another key is another key kind of collaboration that we're involved in. And this is our website. You can look here, but basically the transfer project, which is also collaboration with UNICEF and FAO, as you can see, works with African governments on impact evaluation of large-scale government programs. And in Ghana, for example, we've been evaluating the Ghana LEAP program for many years, and so on. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with our work, but here's some interesting tools and resources. In terms of the course itself, it's a pretty standard impact evaluation course. We start off here. This is from the website of AFRIA. We start off with kind of, giving you the difference between monitoring and impact and evaluation and impact evaluation. So we are focusing on the impact side of things. And so that requires, thinking about the counterfactual, thinking about a control group and ways to get a control group. And so then we go through the main kind of ways of constructing a control group. You have experimental designs, the RCTs, you have matching designs, discontinuity designs. We talk about longitudinal data analysis, the difference in differences. And then depending on the timing and the interest of the participants, we can incorporate some other types of topics. We can incorporate how mixed methods work in impact evaluations. We can incorporate gender, maybe interrupted time series designs, and then we can do some power analysis. So these are the topics. It's pretty standard topics, but in terms of background, I would say that you really do need to have some statistics background. You don't need to have a BA in statistics, but you need to have at least a first course in regression, and you need to be able to interpret a regression, right? Understand what regression means, what multivariate regression means. So that would be the basic thing. And other than that, we'll teach you everything you need to know. So that's my quick intro to the course. You can certainly look me up through any of those websites and send questions if you have additional questions. I'll have to leave at 11 o'clock, but again, we're open to any inquiries. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ashu. Great presentation, and we can all see that IPDET and ASE are bringing together the best of the best for evaluation capacity building in Africa. Our next speaker is coming all the way from Canada, and this is Aref Ben Abdallah. He is International Affairs Advisor at the National School of Public Administration, that's ENAP, in Canada. You have about 7 minutes, sir, to present your course, while I remind our audience that they can send their questions through the Q&A function, and we would have a few minutes to pick up a few audio questions. So those who may want to ask questions orally, we would soon get to that moment. Abdallah, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Caleb, and thank you for GI and AFRIA for the leadership and for creating this really very, very good initiative. Je vais parler en français puisque le cours il va se donner en français.
Since I'm going to teach in French, allow me to speak in French. This is the first time AFRIA is able to create a collaborative platform for all the stakeholders involved in capacity building for MNE and evaluation. Congratulations, Afria, Kodia, and all the colleagues who are involved.
Sans avoir cette opportunité de collaborer dans une plateforme comme ça.
We have been collaborating, but we never use a well-developed platform for our collaborations. I would like to touch on the ENAP contribution in the Francophone countries and Arab-speaking countries as well. I will briefly share my screen.
Sans perdre beaucoup de temps. J'espère que vous voyez ma présentation.
I hope my screen is visible. So for many years now, ENAP have been involved in evaluation area. We have developed about 40 programs for Francophone African region, especially the flagship program that was developed these days was the PIFED. That is IPDET. This program started in 2011. Mainly in Quebec, but quickly the approach that we used was to take into consideration the African contexts, especially those involved in evaluation across regions. So currently, we have a lot of products, including books that were published, certification has been developed, and so on and so forth. I would like to quickly show you how far we've reached. So in the certification, evaluation certification that is based on the PIFED program, we have 3 specialized modules in evaluation based on specific 5-day modules. That will be 5 intensive days. The modules that will be deployed at the African Evaluation School will be one of these 3. It is the mixed method in evaluation. I'll come back to it a bit later. I would like to also say that the PIFEB program will be taught in Marrakesh in Morocco with the support of GI. We have a session that is now being developed. It will be held 20th to 23rd and 3rd to 4th December in Marrakesh. So the registration has already started and scholarships are also available. We also, with the support of GI, there will be an Arab language program, TARIB, and there will be 2 sessions during the first quarter of 2026. It is also an intensive course, 2 weeks course in Arabic, and it will be deployed in the MENA region, that is northern part of Africa, Maghreb, and western side of Asia. So I hope you can go to the website to get more details. Now, with regard to the session we are planning for the African School in Accra, the idea is to bring together all the data collection tools, the data analysis, big quantitative and qualitative approaches. So the idea is to identify all the challenges that evaluators or experts in MNE will meet in line with their works with data. We know money remains a key resource, but we also need to master other data collection strategies, because this is an equally important component of evaluation. So the module will focus on that issue. We develop various tools, practical tools. And it will be for us like the application of various methodologies and tools or data analysis. Madame will dispense the module, but if you have any question regarding the mixed approach or any other program with the support of GI, be it in French or Arabic, kindly ask as many questions as you wish. Thank you. I hope I've been fast enough. I will share the link to the website
Thank you
with
very
you so
much,
as you can go
Arif Ben
directly to
Abdallah
the
from
website.
ENAP. Great presentation and great to see what you're doing around the world. Before we get to our Q&A session, we would get the last speaker. And I'm excited about this because she's going to speak in Portuguese. And naturally, it means the course she'll be talking about will be offered at the ASE in Portuguese. So let's welcome Dr. Amanda Capelazzo Arbagi. She is the Deputy Director of CLEAR Lab, and I hope I got the name correct because I practiced this for a long time. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Caleb. You got the name right. Vou falar em português, então, como o Caleb já comentou.
I'm going to speak in Portuguese, as you said.
Para nós,
We are very happy to be here, to be participating in this course and also in this African Relations School. I will share with you my screen. So just a moment to get it working. So there we are. I think you are all able to see it now.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we are.
Ótimo. Bom, então, o curso que a
As
gente vai
I was saying, this is a course that we are going to minister in Portuguese, that is executive assessment, evaluation.
Falar pouco de como vai funcionar esse curso, vale a gente
This
explicar
is
um pouco
going
sobre
to
esse tipo de
explain
avaliação, que
the
em português
various
e especificamente no Brasil a gente
stages.
chama de avaliação executiva, mas em
We,
inglês,
in Portuguese, we call it
uma
executive
avaliação chamada de
assessment.
Rapid Evaluation. Então, as avaliações executivas, elas são avaliações
So this executive
acontecem uma vez que uma
is
política,
taking
programa, qualquer tipo de
place.
iniciativa que vai ser
In
avaliada
fact,
já está em
it
fase de
is
implementação
undertaken
ou
by
não,
various
já foi
initiatives.
finalizada. E é um
It
tipo de
was
avaliação
concluded
que
this
nos ajuda
year,
em
this
termos de
month,
conseguir
and it
obter e
helps us
consolidar
to
conjunto de
secure and
evidências de uma
consolidate
forma
a
mais
set
célere e
of,
que nos ajudem a tomar
let's say,
decisões com
data
base em
very
evidências
quickly that helps to take
especificamente
decisions
com
very
base em
quickly
evidências que sejam
based
elaboradas, né, de uma forma crível e robusta.
on
Então,
models that
a
are
avaliação
already
executiva, ela pode ter
drawn
um
up.
escopo
So
bastante amplo.
executive,
A gente
let's say,
pode formar uma avaliação executiva a
assessment,
partir de perguntas avaliativas
these people can
focadas em
be,
alguma
this can be
etapa
done
específica do que a gente
based
chama de
on
ciclo da política,
questionnaires.
ou então uma
And
avaliação
then you
executiva um pouco
can
mais
apply
abrangente,
this
que
in
envolve várias
politics
etapas decisivas.
or
Então,
other
indo desde, por exemplo, a
departments.
identificação do problema que aquela
So
política
to
pretende, né,
identify,
combater ou mitigar,
let's say, a
ou
problem
então
that the
a gente
politicians
pode
would
também
like
ter perguntas
to
avaliativas
resolve,
mais focadas
you
no
have to,
desempenho daquela política, ou ainda
let's say,
por formas
devise a number of
específicos da
questions
implementação
and
dela,
also
ou até
to
mesmo nos
focus on
resultados e
specific
efeitos que ela
aspects and
está
look at
tendo,
the
por exemplo.
causes and effects.
Então, quando a a gente está falando de avaliações executivas que
So
têm por
when you
método
talk
o tipo
about
de
this
dados que a
executive
gente tipicamente
evaluation
utiliza.
or
Em
assessment,
relação aos dados, uma vez que a gente está tentando uma abordagem avaliativa
once
mais
you
célere, né,
adopt,
de gerar
let's say, an
e que nos
approach,
ajudem nesse processo de tomada de
it
decisões de uma forma
helps
mais
to
ágil,
take
mais rápida,
decisions
a gente geralmente
very
tende a priorizar o
quickly,
uso de dados que já
and you
existem,
have to
mas nada nos impede de
prioritize
também coletar novos dados.
the
E
decision
nesses
making.
casos, o que a gente faz é
In this
priorizar os métodos
cases,
de
what we
coleta,
do
que
is
sejam
to
mais ágeis também,
prioritize
ou então que sejam coletivos, por exemplo, focar
the
no uso de
collective
grupos focais
groups.
ou entrevistas
For
em
example, you have
grupo
to
ao invés de entrevistas
organize
individuais.
focus groups or
Em
individual
termos de
groups,
métodos, a gente geralmente
and
faz
then
a
apply the
combinação tanto de
methods,
métodos
and then you have to
quantitativos
combine
quanto de
both
métodos qualitativos. Ou
techniques.
seja,
So
no
you have
tipo
to
de
use
avaliação,
qualitative,
geralmente vai se
quantitative,
basear no que a gente tende a
let's say,
chamar de uso de
techniques,
métodos mistos.
and then we
No
call them
esse
the
curso
mix or
especificamente, né,
mixture.
de avaliação
Now,
executiva que
in
a
this
gente vai
course in particular,
oferecer na ASE
we are going to
2025,
propose
é um
about
curso
5
focado em fortalecer
models,
as
and
capacidades, né, dos
it's
nossos
really
participantes
aimed at
para que eles possam tanto
strengthening
conduzir avaliações executivas, mas também para que
the
eles possam ter uma
capacity
noção
or
melhor do que são
capacitate
as
the
avaliações
people
executivas
or
e
the
possam
trainees
demandar, né, possam
in
contratar
executive
avaliações desse
decision
tipo e que
making,
sejam, né, obviamente
so
de
that
qualidade. A
they
gente,
can
né, está oferecendo
take
esse curso para
quality
profissionais do
decisions,
setor público,
and
avaliadores de
then
forma geral,
they can be called
pesquisadores,
as
enfim, qualquer pessoa que esteja
assessors or
interessada em saber mais sobre esse tipo de avaliação que pode ser bastante útil. Como a gente já disse, esse curso vai ser oferecido em português e ele não
as it
exige
will
nenhum
be
tipo de
ministered in
conhecimento prévio específico.
Portuguese. Of
A
course,
nossa
the
metodologia, ela se
attendees
baseia
have
numa
to
combinação
understand
tanto de
Portuguese,
uso
but we
de
shall
aulas
combine
expositivas, quanto também de
the
atividades práticas, geralmente em grupos,
methodologies
onde a gente
where we
trabalha
have
tanto exemplos
group
quanto
work,
casos, né,
and then
reais,
we
para poder tornar a
study
aplicação
of
desse tipo de
concrete
método mais
cases,
palpável, né, e um curso
application
mais
of methods
interessante,
that
mais
are
dinâmico
more
para os
palpable,
participantes.
and then
Que
more
tipos de capacidades, né, que a gente
participatory.
pretende desenvolver
And then
especificamente
there's a
nesse curso?
capacity we
Então, a
want
gente começa
to
sempre
strengthen and
motivando o
rebuild.
interesse do monitoramento e da
So we have
avaliação
to
nesse contexto
motivate
de tomada de decisão,
the
né, baseado em
students,
evidências, mas aqui nesse curso a gente vai focar principalmente nos
and then we'll
princípios, nos usos
focus on
e
the
também em
principle,
reflexões sobre as
and then
limitações que as avaliações executivas
looking at
podem ter.
the
A gente vai
limitations
falar de
or
quais são abordagens
restrictions.
possíveis dentro desse tipo
So
de
we look at
avaliação
the
e quais que são
methodology
mais
to
adequadas
make
para cada
the
tipo de circunstância
evaluation,
e
the
principalmente para cada tipo de
circumstances,
pergunta
and
avaliativa que a
especially
gente
the
pode querer
kind of
responder
question
através do
that you
uso dessas
can
avaliações
ask
executivas.
so as to
A gente também vai
achieve
abordar um
your
pouco
objective.
a seleção de
And then we shall
estratégias, né, que sejam
explain the
apropriadas
selection
para a
of
gente coletar
strategies that will
dados
be
ou
more
reunir dados já
adequate,
existentes e
whether
analisá-los.
distinctly
E a
or
gente
in
vai encerrar,
groups,
né, o
in
curso falando
groups,
um pouco
and
sobre como
then
a gente
we
pode
will
comunicar
also
esses resultados
look
das
at
avaliações executivas
communication
de uma forma que seja
at that
eficaz
level,
para o processo
so
de
that you'll
tomada de
be
decisão
effective,
com base em evidências,
and also to
principalmente
help,
pensando nesse processo
let's say,
como algo
evidence-based
mais
decision making.
célere, né? Entendendo a
So
necessidade da gente muitas vezes
there
ter
is a
respostas
need
rápidas para que a gente possa
to
tomar as
be
melhores
quite
decisões possíveis.
quick, in
Como
other
que esse
words,
curso
take
nosso
quick
está estruturado?
decisions, and
Ao
then the
longo
structure
da
of the
nossa semana, né, de
courses.
curso, a gente vai
Now,
ter 5 módulos.
let's say
A gente
we'll
começa
have
com o
5
primeiro
models.
módulo de conceitos
We'll
introdutórios,
start with
onde a
model
gente vai
number
tratar
one,
um pouco sobre a
that is
elaboração de políticas
introductory
públicas de transparência, alguns
concepts,
conceitos
that
básicos de
is some
monitoramento
of
e
the
avaliação, e como que
monitoring,
a gente pensa, né, as
evaluation,
avaliações no ciclo de políticas.
and then the
Depois a gente
political
vai também entrar
circles,
de forma
and then
propriamente
we
dita
go
nas avaliações
into
executivas. Então, por exemplo,
executive level
principalmente sobre a
assessment
motivação desse
with
tipo de
the
avaliação e os
explanations,
usos, quais
the
que
kind
são
of
algumas definições e
motivation,
características
the
básicas desse tipo de
application,
avaliação,
and
e
then
depois a
the
gente vai
kind of
falar um pouco sobre como
characteristics,
conduzir
and
avaliações
then we look
executivas.
at how
Então, por
to
exemplo, falando de caracterização da
reduce.
política que vai ser
For
avaliada,
example,
análise do
if you
problema
want
que
to
aquela
look
política
at
pretende, né,
problems
combater,
that's
falar um pouco
on
sobre como fazer
politics,
avaliações, né, mais
or
específicas da parte de desenho da política nesse
if you
contexto
look at
de
how
avaliação
to
executiva,
draw up
e depois falar um pouco
policies,
também sobre
and
avaliações
then you
tanto
have to
de
look
aspectos
at
da implementação quanto de resultados
the
nessa
aspect of
perspectiva de uma
implementation,
avaliação
because you have
executiva.
certain
No
results you want
final,
to
a
achieve.
gente vai tratar um pouco
And
sobre
then
metodologia,
finally, will look at the
tipos de dados,
methodology
que a gente usa para esse
that will look at the kind of assessment and that look at how to collect information, how to gather information, and then planning, communication, especially effective communication. So these are some of the elements that we are going to, let's say, provide. So thank you very much for listening. It's been very brief. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amanda, and I'm excited about the name, getting it right. And I'm also excited about the course and the fact that we have so many Portuguese-speaking participants. I think the good news we also have for all participants, but especially for Portuguese-speaking participants, is that there are, of course, scholarship opportunities, but there is special consideration also for the Portuguese-speaking applications we would have received for this training. So this is an opportunity for our Portuguese-speaking colleagues to really seize. And I mean, I'm saying this because it is leading us already to the Q&A section. We have a few minutes to take a few questions. And I see from the Q&A and from the chat that one of the most prominent questions comes from scholarships. Which is why I started talking about the scholarships already, to clear off some of the questions. But I would leave the floor, I would want to give the floor either to Dr. Sala or Dr. Ouedraogo, President of AFRIA or coordinator of the ASE. One of them can talk about the scholarship models we are working on right now. Maybe they want to throw more light on scholarships so we can clear the doubts of all questions related to scholarship at the ASE. Dr. Miche, Dr. Sala, please, one of you can take the floor.
Yes, thank you. Merci beaucoup, Caleb, pour l'interpellation. Alors, pour ce qui concerne les bourses, il faut dire qu'essentiellement, les bourses sont réservées pour les évaluateurs émergents. Donc, ces bourses sont disponibles, c'est-à-dire pour tous les jeunes qui ont des âges inférieurs à 35 ans. Donc, c'est vraiment essentiellement ces évaluateurs émergents là, qui sont la priorité de nos bourses, mais également aussi pour les femmes en évaluation et aussi également aussi pour ceux qui sont de langue portugaise. Mais dans la répartition des bourses, nous allons pouvoir s'assurer qu'il y ait une représentation géographique, puisque l'Afrique a plusieurs régions et plusieurs pays. Nous voulons nous assurer vraiment que cette équité-là en termes de représentation géographique et aussi tenu compte des minorités, ce soit vraiment pleinement représenté. Donc, voilà un peu les critères que si vous voulez. Alors, normalement, à partir de la première semaine d'octobre, nous allons être capables de pouvoir notifier tous ceux qui ont postulé pour l'École africaine d'évaluation, non seulement sur leur acceptation, mais également sur l'attribution des bourses. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Miche, President of AFRIA. Please keep your questions coming in now.
Okay. I just saw that some people said the English translation was not available, so I will just go quickly in English. I was just saying that for the bursary that we will, and the scholarship that we will provide, most of the scholarship will be for the young and emerging evaluators. So they are the main focus. That means people that are under 35 years. We also focusing on supporting women in evaluation. So we encourage women that has an evaluation to submit their registration file. And also we want to make sure that Portuguese people that are mostly missed in AFRIA and also in the field of evaluation in Africa, there will be a focus on them. So we encourage you to candidate for the school, but also to apply for the scholarship. I was just saying that we will make sure that we have a good regional representative. We have many countries in Africa. We want to make sure that the regions and also countries are well represented on those scholarships. So by the first week of October, we should be able to notify everyone who apply for the scholarship and also for the African School of Evaluation, you should receive a notification and also your letter of acceptance or a letter inviting you to pay for the full school fees. Thank you very much, and I wish to all of you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Miche. I hope this clears off all questions related to scholarships, and I hope interpretation services is restored in all languages. Another thing I should let us all know is that this session is being recorded, and I know that many of you would want to listen to it again or get the presentations. We will share them with you in all the languages, so don't worry about that. And then let me say that we can take about 3 or 4 very quickly 4 questions orally. So if you have a question you want to ask orally, please feel free to raise your hand, like Piletso Kaile Dai has done. Kyle, you have the floor. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. My question was, when we do our applications, is the scholarship application aside from the normal application, or once you apply, you're also applying for the scholarship?
Okay, thank you very much. There's a hand raised. We will maybe just take a few questions. Take 3. There's a hand raised from Chukwemeka Ede. Please go ahead and ask your question. Unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Salimata Traore, you can unmute yourself now and ask your question, please.
Oui, merci, bonsoir à
Thank
tous.
you very
Bonsoir à
much.
toutes.
Good
C'est
afternoon.
Salimata Traoré, épouse
My name
Oye
is
de la Côte
Salimata
d'Ivoire.
Traore
Juste une question de
from
clarification
Côte
parce que je
d'Ivoire.
suis un peu
I
perdu.
need more
Parce que je me
clarification
souviens qu'il y a
because
quelques
I'm a
semaines de
bit
cela, j'ai
confused.
postulé
Few weeks
pour une
ago,
formation qui
I
doit se
sent my
dérouler au Ghana.
application for a
Avec
training
plusieurs
that will be
langues et
held
plusieurs
in
sessions, il fallait
Ghana
choisir
in
la section
various
cruciale
languages and
plus.
various
C'est
sessions.
vrai que j'ai
And we were
reçu
supposed
un
to
accusé de
select
réception que
the
ma
most
candidature a
appropriate
été
sessions.
reçue.
I have
Je ne sais pas, est-ce
received
que le fait pour moi de
a
participer à
mail
ce webinaire
confirming
aujourd'hui, est-ce que c'est
reception
la
of
suite
my mail.
de cette formation,
The fact
c'est-à-dire
that I'm
d'essayer
part of
plus
this
d'informations sur cette
webinar,
formation? Et
is
le
it
fait
part
pour moi
of
de
the training?
participer, ça veut dire d'office
And
que ma
does that also
candidature est
mean
retenue
that
sous
my
réserve
application
du
has
paiement
been
des frais?
accepted
Parce que c'est que
pending
déjà,
payment of
lorsque je
fees?
postulais, il y avait déjà une
Because
question qui disait, est-ce que
when
vous
I
avez
was
besoin d'une
sending my
bourse?
application, there was a question
Naturellement, on a dit
that
oui.
whether you wanted
Je vais
a
savoir,
scholarship. And
est-ce
of
que
course, I
c'est
said
la même
yes.
formation qu'il
Now I want
s'agit ou
to
bien c'est
know,
d'une autre
is it the
formation
same
qu'il
training
s'agit ou
or
bien le fait
it
que je
is
sois là
another one?
aujourd'hui,
Or
ça
the
veut dire que
mere fact that
d'office, ma
I am part
candidature est
of this
retenue.
meeting means that my application has been accepted.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Salimata.
Thank you
I
very
think we'll
much,
answer
Madame
these 2 questions
Salimata.
first. I don't know whether I can provide answers to them, but I'll let the experts we have here. Dr. Salah, Dr. Miche, you want to talk on this? Any of you, please?
Alors, je vais répondre pour ce qui concerne la FREA.
I
Dr.
will
Candice est ici.
take
Elle
on
peut
the
également
Afria's
répondre pour le
question, and
TOEFL
Dr. Frisa
à
can also
Nairobi.
answer
Alors,
for
donc,
the
pour
EFRIFED.
les questions en
Now,
lien
with
en fait
regard
avec la bourse,
to
donc
the
pour la première
scholarship,
question, en fait,
for the
quand
first question,
vous appliquez pour l'école,
when
vous appliquez
you send your
systématiquement pour la
application,
bourse. OK? Comme
it's
je l'ai dit,
automatic
les
that you are
inscriptions
also
toujours en
applying
cours.
for the
Les
scholarship.
notifications
And as I
officielles vont
said,
venir
the
la première semaine d'octobre.
registration is
Donc
still
actuellement,
ongoing. The
personne n'est
official
officiellement admis
feedback
pour
will
l'école qui
come
va se dérouler à
in
Accra, au Ghana.
the first
Donc
week of October.
l'IPDET à
So
Nairobi, c'est
for
en
now,
cours.
nobody
Donc
has
Candice,
been
Dr. Candice pourrait
selected
revenir
yet.
éventuellement sur ça aussi. Donc restez
And
toujours à l'écoute.
Epines
Nous allons vous revenir.
is the other
Et quand on va vous
training,
revenir,
and
on
maybe
vous
my
dira
colleague will
si
take the floor.
effectivement vous
So
avez
for
reçu
the
la
second
bourse ou pas.
question,
Voilà, donc
hold
on va
on.
évaluer toutes les
We'll
candidatures et les
we'll
bourses
send
seront
you a
annoncées
mail
systématiquement la
confirming
première semaine d'octobre.
if you
Donc
have
voici Caleb
you have
rapidement pour
been
répondre à la
granted the
question,
scholarship or not.
aux
We
deux
need
questions qui ont
to
été posées.
study the
Merci.
various applications first.
Thank you.
Caleb,
Dr. Candice,
those are the
quickly,
answers.
you
Thank
want
you.
to say something about this on IPDET side?
Sorry, Caleb, I didn't quite get the question on the IPDET. Is it about the scholarships?
Yes, they were asking.
Okay.
They were asking if there are scholarships for IPDET, or they want to even know how to proceed with IPDET, if at all
Okay.
IPDET is still open and all of that.
Okay, thank you so much. So the IPDET scholarship applications unfortunately have already closed. So the window for the scholarship application is closed, but the window for the open enrollment or the self-payers is open until the 3rd of October. So the scholarships are currently closed, unfortunately.
Okay.
Thank
you very much. So in a nutshell, what we can say is that those of you who have been applying, when you apply for the African School of Evaluation, there is a section where you can indicate whether you want scholarship or not if you're applying for a scholarship. And once you take yes, that's the application for scholarship process. In fact, that's what you're doing. So there's no special or second application that is going to be given out. Now, during the review of your application, those who are going to meet the criteria for scholarship, they will then be informed that, in terms of the availability of scholarship or funds and all of that, depending on the various criteria that are outlined, those selected for scholarships would be notified. I think that's, in summary, what has been said for the ASE. I see some more hands. We are running short of time, but we can take one or two questions again. I see there's Mohammed Essa. You have the floor, please. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Mohammed Essa, are you there? Okay. We will take another person, Ayara Gladys. You can unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Go ahead and ask your question, Gladys. We can, you can now talk. You have the floor. Okay, there's probably a problem with her system. Let's get to Mohammed Essa. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, is it audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, my question is the way how impact evaluation is undertaken, because there are so many formats and ways of evaluating impact. So which one is, from the given alternative, the most prior and selective way of measuring impact?
Okay,
under
thank you for that
evaluation?
question. Thank you very much for your question. We would find a way to get such questions to you, because this session is meant specifically for IPDET and the African School of Evaluation. So your questions should be focused on either the School of Evaluation or IPDET Nairobi, the training that we'll be having from the 3rd to the 7th of November. If you have questions related to any of these other subject, feel free to send us the questions. We can compile them and then get a brief summary to you. But if the question is not related to IPDET or to the ASE or what we have discussed here today, then please let us rather focus on these two courses. George Theory, I guess after George we'll have Abba, and that will be the last oral question we have. George, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. My question, I wanted to ask how much is the IPDET course in Nairobi for the self-payers?
Okay, how much is the IPDET course? Next question, the last we'll be getting today, would be from okay, what's the name? Adama. Is that Adama? Adama Balde. Please go ahead and ask your question. Okay. We are really running short of time. We would have to end here, and we know that there are lots of questions that have come in from the Q&A. There are lots of questions that have come in from the chat section. I can guarantee you that all these questions are being compiled, and if what we will do is we'll put them together and try to provide answers to them in various categories. Permit me then come to someone we are going to listen to now give us the closing remarks. Of course, we know that this event is being organized by the Global Evaluation Initiative through its programs, Clear Anglophone Africa and IPDET. But of course, AFRIA is also the other partner, especially with regards to the African School of Evaluation, the second course that we'll be having, that we're talking about today. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, permit me welcome Mr. Carlos Akligo. He is the Executive Director of AFRIA, and he's going to give us some closing remarks before we leave this place today. Carlos, over to you.
Thank you very much, Caleb, and thank you for the excellent moderation so far. Thank you also to all your co-moderator, Talita. As we bring this webinar to a close, I want to use this opportunity to express our gratitude to all of you for joining us today. It has been an interesting session where we have explored together the vision and opportunities presented by both the African Evaluation Association and the IPDET. And personally, one thing that I have learned throughout the session is that we are not talking about competition here, but everything is about complementarity. We have seen throughout that the African School of Evaluation and the IPDET training bring unique strengths with the African Evaluation School, grounding evaluation in African realities and contexts, while the IPDET training bringing decades of global experience and network. I'm very convinced that together we are going to create powerful synergies that would expand opportunities for all of us to learn, to exchange knowledge, and also promote professional growth for evaluators, not only in Africa, but beyond. And so once again, on behalf of the African Evaluation Association, the Board of the Directors, and also the staff of the Secretariat, I want to use this opportunity to express gratitude to especially the interpreters who work very hard behind the scenes for us to understand each other today. And to all of you, our dear speakers, for your time, for the quality of the presentation, which really which really showed the various aspects of the courses we are about to offer to the participant. And of course, without the partners, we will not be able to achieve this. I want to use this opportunity once again to express gratitude to all the partners, especially the ones who are taking care of the courses, delivering the courses within the framework of the African School of Evaluation, all the CLEAR centers, the CLEAR FA, CLEAR AA, CLEAR Lab, the American Institute for Research, the École Nationale d'Administration Publique du Canada, 3IE, and also UNICEF. Of course, we also want to say a big thank to MasterCard Foundation for the general support and DIVA for their support. And especially, I want to thank all of you, our dear participants, for your active engagement. I'm very sure that today marks a step forward in building a stronger and more connected evaluation community. And we are very sure that at the end of the day, we are going to build a community that is both rooted in Africa, but also open to the world. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being part of this important conversation today. We look forward to welcoming all of you in Accra come November this year. And once again, I wish you all the best and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Scholarships for IPDET are closed, but for those of you who would want to self-fund yourself for the training, IPDET Nairobi they go, the registration fee is 2,500 USD. And if you're not going in for IPDET, the African School of Evaluation is right here. It will also, IPDET is happening from the 3rd to the 7th of November in Nairobi. The ASE, African School of Evaluation, is happening from the 24th to the 28th of November, 2025. These are both opportunities you can choose from. We gave these courses, we provided this session for you to understand these various sessions, IPDET and ASE, so that you can see which of them very well suits your needs, and you can see where you would match. They are not clashing with each other. They rather complement each other. And if you're not doing IPDET, you're doing ASE. In the end, we are all coming out very strong, well capacitated, and ready to be change makers across the globe, across the continent. Thank you very much for joining us in this session. I hope you did enjoy the presentations. I hope you are now informed about the ASE and about IPDET. And I hope you're also informed about GEI's initiatives and the CLARE centers and everything we are doing around the evaluation landscape in Africa. We hope to see you either in Nairobi or in Accra when we have IPDET Nairobi, or we have the ASE 2025 at the Institute of African Studies of the University of Ghana. So until then, it is thanks for being there. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope to see you again some other time. Have a lovely day. Bye.